first time in our 13-year history, we've taken local image not on the road, but on the river. Today's show is coming to you from aboard the Avalon here on the St. Croix River in Stillwater. We were invited to take a tour and get an update on the construction of the new St. Croix River crossing bridge. We'll bring you a unique visual perspective and hear from MnDOT experts on the current status of the bridge and the unique challenges of building a structure like this in just a bit. But first, let's hear how the Lake Elmo Fire Department joins other operations in training for the challenges they face on a daily basis as we take you to the newly opened East Metro Regional Public Safety Training Center in Maplewood.
Why? I love it. It's part of my life. They are a family to me, so they're part of my family.
29-year-old Mike Cornell has worked his way up through the Lake Elmo Fire Department.
So I called him up, stopped in, grabbed an application, and the way we are 8 years later, I'm an assistant chief now.
Being young has not stopped him from being a leader.
The guys know that if I yell at them on a fire scene, it doesn't mean that I don't like them or I think they're doing something wrong. It's just because I want them to go home to their families and I don't want them to get hurt. So, and that's my #1 job. You getting it, Polly?
Oh yeah.
Fire Chief Greg Melmquist knows what kind of person Mike is.
Dedicated.
The same sentiment he feels for all his firefighters.
Dedicated personnel.
He has decades of experience as a firefighter.
I'm going on 31 years. But take a breath, take a second, and then let them know when you're ready.
But times have changed since he started with the department.
Fires are more dangerous than they've ever been. Structures today, residential structures, burn faster and hotter than ever. Construction-wise, they're stronger than anything, but there's more glues, everything in them is petroleum-based, so they burn faster and hotter. So we have to react quicker. And it's more dangerous probably than it's ever been.
And with the changing landscape, the techniques used by fire departments have to change as well.
My primary goal and responsibility is to make sure my firefighters go home after every call. I don't want to have to knock on the door. That's why I training. My worst day as a chief is when I have to send my folks into something they might not come out of, and I know that. But you know, we're the ones that, when everybody's running this way, we're running that way. I mean, that's what we do.
A multi-city training facility was constructed in Maplewood to help prepare firefighters for the evolving situations that they will face.
The East Metro Training Center.
This is the first year it's been open, and we're fortunate enough to be close enough to be one of the primary users of it.
A new facility is only part of the training equation.
But we do. We're in a continuing education program at Century College, and they'll incorporate our hands-on skills training.
Well, currently we have in our continuing ed program about 400 firefighters on the East Metro.
And it's good for our new people. It's good for our seasoned veterans to refresh on some of those basic skills that we forget sometimes.
We tend to always want to talk about the advanced skill sets, but at times we sometimes forget some of those basic things or perhaps form bad habits. So that's what this is about, is to knock off some of the rust from things and skill sets that may not get used frequently, and maybe to expand their knowledge as well.
We don't touch our chainsaws all the time. We don't touch our axes all the time and stuff like that. So when we assign these guys to do that, it gets their hands on the tools so they keep familiarizing themselves with it.
The other thing that's really changed is the training together.
Well, for example, this evening here we've got 3 fire departments that are here training tonight, all within close proximity where their fire stations are at.
We all rely on each other more and more than we ever have. We train together and we respond together.
It's amazing what you can do when you do things in concert and in partnership.
We have open area where we're not disrupting neighbors or on the side of a road. It's a safe environment where we can start doing a lot of these joint trainings.
Lake Elmo Fire is going to utilize this every chance we get to get our people experience with live fire.
Yeah, you're good. Everything's shut down, so.
What does it take to be a firefighter?
I was first just an interest and a willingness. I mean, if you're even curious about it, come down and talk to us. We'll tell you what it's all about. And they might look at this and go, you know, not for me. Or they might look at it and go, you know, I think I can do this.
being a firefighter is more than an ordinary job.
When you sign up, you're not just signing yourself up. You are signing your family up to it.
I would say that a firefighter, the general public doesn't thoroughly realize and comprehend that it's not just a profession, it's a lifestyle. These people are here because they want to be here. They're passionate about what they do, and they believe in what they're doing is really making a difference in the community.
And not just anyone can do it.
The other struggle we have is that we're very limited where we can hire. We can't just put an ad in the paper. You know, people have to live in Lake Elmo within 5.5 minutes of one of our stations. So if you draw a circle, that's where we hire from.
But those who can love it.
It's very rewarding.
It's very gratifying to go home at night and say, hey, I helped somebody, or try to.
As you heard, the training facility is new to the Lake Elmo firefighters, and so too is the man who was hired as interim city administrator. Clark Schroeder had his work cut out for him when he came on board to help steer the city of Lake Elmo into smoother waters. He welcomes residents into his office on a weekly basis to share their thoughts and concerns with him. And I thought it'd be nice to stop in myself for this local image Lake Elmo City update. Hi, Clark.
Hi.
I'm Judy.
Hi, I'm Clark Schroeder. I'm the new interim administrator.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I thought I'd pop in for one of your little sessions here.
You bet. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, so tell me how you're doing, Clark. So far, so good?
It's very entertaining. Yes, it's always something new every day. That's what I really like about the job. I look forward to coming in because it is entertaining to learn more about the city and what they do and how I can help the city get along better.
Yeah, and we want to learn a little bit more about you. So tell us where you're from and a little bit of your background.
Well, I was born in France.
Oh my
Interesting
goodness.
enough, yes. So I was born on a military base back in the
Okay.
Cold War era. But I grew up in southern Minnesota, Kenyon, Minnesota, Blooming Prairie. And I ended up going to college at Stout. I got an industrial education degree there. And then I worked at St. Croix County. And so I worked for 30 years in St. Croix County in administration with Health and Human Services. I particularly ran a program for people with disabilities. It was called St. Croix Industries. And then that job ended, and the county decided to outsource that to a private company. And so I took a year off, and I went back and got a master's in public administration from Hamlin. And so I just completed that degree in May.
Wow. So how do you feel that what you've done up to this point has kind of prepared you for this interim job?
Well, I think one of the issues, I think I bring a fresh perspective to the city. They probably could have gone out, probably got somebody that had a lot of experience, but they're not gonna come in with a fresh view of what the city is. I think that's why they hired me.
Well, and you know, it's no secret that Lake Elmo's been in some turbulent times, a lot of contentious issues over the last maybe couple of years or so. Why would you want to kind of put yourself in the mix of that? I'm sure maybe some folks you talked to might have said, "Are you nuts? You want to take that job?"
Well, I live about 3.5 miles away in Baytown Township, and I've lived there for a quarter century. So I've been watching Lake Elmo's, issues, I guess, for a while. So I'm not coming into this with a, blind. I know exactly what I stepped into and what I wanted to step into. We're actually going through the Minnesota Center for Collaboration and Dispute Resolution, and so there are enough communities around Minnesota that have similar issues as Lake Elmo, that the state of Minnesota developed this center. And then we have a group meeting and we talk about how do we interact and how can you actually have a meeting where you actually don't agree but you're still respectful and you still have a common goal of what's good for the city.
Right.
And not take things so personally. I think everybody that I talk to, regardless of which political side they land on in Lake Elmo, want the city council to get along. They want that. They want them to look good. My job is to help them look good, and I think that's one of our main goals. And I don't get any disagreement with that from anybody. And how we do that is a little bit different, But I think everybody has some of the same interests as having, safe roads and good schools and good parks, and you know, the issues that are important to the citizens.
Have people been welcoming to you, or a little kind of wait and see attitude?
No, everybody's been very welcoming. Everybody, you know, wants to see me succeed.
What are your maybe top priorities for your 6 months?
Well, I think my top priority first off is try to get them through this dispute resolution process, because I think that can lay some groundwork for future discussions. I also would like to have them adopt or look at an ordinance concerning maybe limiting the meetings to 10 p.m. We had a meeting just last week that went till 1, and it's really hard on the staff. The staff are, you know, tired and fatigued the next day, and there's still a lot of work. I want to develop and replace some of the staff that have left. As you're well aware of, we've lost a number of staff over the last 6-8 months, and so we're in the process of doing that.
How are you meshing with the staff?
Oh, I love the staff. They're great. They're all very welcoming, and my main message to them is that I want them to succeed.
Well, it sounds like the staff and the city is in good hands with you. Congratulations.
Thank you. You're the first person to say that. I appreciate
on
that.
your new position. And tell folks again when they can come and see you.
So I basically have open hours from 4 to 6 p.m. on the first meeting of the month for the city council. So people can just come in and sit down, and whatever you want to say, I'll listen. And if we can help the city, that's our goal.
Very good, very good. Well, and I also want to meet another new staff member here, Julie Johnson. Is she around?
Yeah.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie Johnson. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Clark told me a little bit about you and the fact that you started work here about the same time that he did. So welcome.
I started first.
Okay,
let's get the record straight.
All right,
I was first.
Okay, well, welcome and
Thank you.
Congratulations on your new position.
Thank you. I'm really, really happy to be here.
Good. What's your role here with the city?
I'm the city clerk. One of my main functions is custodian of the records of the city. So I'm responsible for taking minutes for the city council meetings. I also cover parks right now. And I'm responsible for maintaining the city's records, handling data requests. I take care of the website, posting things on the website, working on the newsletter right now. Just a whole myriad of things.
Okay, so you had your hands full coming into this position.
I did.
How have you settled in?
Well, I spent the first week just really reading every piece of paper I could get my hands on, setting up my own filing system, you know, trying to figure out where things are. One thing I learned in one of my past positions with that is that it's very important for the city clerk to be able to put their hands on a document very quickly.
Your history included working at a previous government job, right?
I have. Back in 2000 to 2007, I worked for the city of Oak Park Heights. I was the deputy clerk there. A little bit smaller city, but a larger commercial base, and with the high school there, the prison, Excel Energy. We had our own police department, so we had maybe more staff than Lake Elmo, but very similar issues. You know, interestingly, we had a lot of controversy with the bridge, so the things that Lake Elmo is going through now, I've been through before. So, you know, it didn't scare me coming here knowing that there was some controversy and some things to work through.
Well, what would you tell the residents here, knowing what you know from what you've experienced before coming here? What would you really want them to hear from you as kind of to maybe ease their minds?
First, I want them to know that we have a really great staff in place. Every person here works hard, and every person here really has the city's best interests in heart. And they're really proud of the work they do. And I think a lot of residents already know that, but I just want them to know that, you know, we have an open door policy, obviously. If you have a question, concern, come in and sit down with us anytime, call, email, you know, we're here for them. That is the only reason we're here, is for the residents. And then on a separate note, I would just tell them, based on my experience, if things seem like, you know, there's a little bit of turmoil or uncertainty, this will pass. It always does. Nothing stays the same in city government. And so, that goes when things are going real smooth and quiet, and you think, oh, things are going pretty well right now. Always be ready, because there's always something around the corner, and that's what makes it interesting and fun.
Any final message that you'd want to send to especially the residents here in Lake Elmo from the administrative office?
Yes, I would like to thank the residents. They've stayed engaged. I think in all the transitioning, people have tried to stay positive. I can't even tell you my first week or two here how many folks, even folks I never have met before, stopped by or called or emailed just to say thank you for taking the job and good luck. We're behind you. I appreciate that so much. I think the people here are really unique, and they're invested in their community, and I just want to thank them for that and let them know we're here for them too.
Well, Julie, the city seems to be in great hands with you and Clark, and so best wishes and congratulations.
Thank you.
I really like Clark and Julie. They're good people, and they will do good things for the community of Lake Elmo. Now back here on board the slightly wet Avalon, the tour highlighting the construction of the St. Croix Crossing River Bridge is underway. Let's take a listen and learn more about this huge undertaking.
We are fixing a problem out here and respecting the environment. We offer these boat tours as a way for the general public to come out and see all the progress that we've made. The purpose and the need of this project is really driven by a congestion and a safety problem in downtown Stillwater and Holton, Wisconsin. Every day we have congestion that backs up on either side of the lift bridge. In the afternoon it does the same thing. And then in that congestion then there's crashes that are occurring. So we actually have twice the crash rate that we should on a normal piece of trunk highway.
I think it's just the scope of the project and how much effort has gone into making this a possibility. I mean, I don't think until you actually hear and see it that you realize the magnitude of what's being done here.
This bridge is almost 1 mile long. It's 5,079 feet in length, and it stretches from the west abutment on the Minnesota side near Highway 95 out to the Wisconsin abutment.
Well, today we brought some of the businesses from the Vadnais Heights Economic Development Corporation to see the progress on the St. Croix Crossing and to hear directly from some MnDOT and Wisconsin engineers. We certainly always look at issues based on a trade area, and certainly even as far as Stillwater and like western Wisconsin would be considered our trade area. So in order to be able to get better access to goods and materials and employees, this is a great new resource once it's going to be completed.
Well, there's 400 workers on a given day on this project.
These things take time, and there's a lot of effort being invested in making this area a better place to do business.
Many of you probably heard recently that we're going to go into 2017. We thought we were going to get done in 16, but we will now be out into beyond that.
We've made so much progress in the last 2 years on this project. You can see it right in the background here with the construction of the bridge, where this summer we're really going horizontally with the bridge.
Some of November through into April sometime there will be no segment erection on the project. However, other work can continue in the winter.
Anything that continues where there's concrete work will have to be heated and housed in an environment that's more controlled to make sure that we're still meeting our specifications. But there will be some continued work in the winter.
Speaking of bridges, the Vadnais Heights Economic Development Corporation is always working towards bridging local businesses with the communities they serve, and that includes our local high schools and Century College. Recently, White Bear Lake High School South Campus was the site of a kickoff event that brought students and manufacturing industry and community leaders together for a discussion on improving workforce readiness for students and to address the industry needs. It's called the Manufacturing Pathway, and it's the focus of this Local Image segment.
But overall, you had an opportunity to be there. What did you think? Good. Thumbs up. Okay. What was the best part? The bike. Seeing that innovation piece?
Well, my thing is manufacturing is cool. So if I can do anything outside of just saying this is cool today, I've done my job.
Excitement level is very, very high for this. I mean, it's real hard to comprehend. People are saying, today's event with the kickoff went very, very well.
White Bear Lake High School was recently awarded a grant from the United Way to allow instructor Delroy Nygren to build a manufacturing pathway program for students.
I was asked to develop some proposals, and it was kind of taking and putting my ideas down on paper. To validate those ideas, I took them out and gave a proposal draft to industry people that I had contact with. And so I started knocking on doors. I said, would you spend some time and give me some feedback on this? What are you thinking?
The program has garnered large support from the business community.
I think we're realizing now that industry cares more than ever what's happening inside the walls of the school because of the workforce needs and the needs to increase the potential of our economy.
The feedback Delroy received helped develop a more robust program.
You need to connect more to industry. Let's put aside a traditional education model and let's see if we can connect more to what industry needs are.
Local industry is taking a hands-on approach to better prepare students for the workforce.
Our goal is to ensure that the students know of the opportunities and the employers are able to communicate to educators exactly the types of things that they would like to see students have exposure to before they leave the walls of the school.
The continued support for the White Bear Lake schools. We know that the more we support the schools, the more that's going to help us get employees in at Dufresne.
Several of our businesses are very active in this issue. Obviously, Dufresne has been a key industry advisor to this whole manufacturing pathway.
We were part of the plan for them to get their $250,000 grant from United Way. I sat on the meetings with United Way over in Minneapolis and went through all the information, and lo and behold, here they are today with a manufacturing curriculum that's growing and building. And
the grant money has been used to expand workspace where the students can get hands-on experience with industry standard equipment.
My room right now supports 2 Haas pieces of equipment that were decided to be put in place for this program because they're recognized by industry. My joke is they still have the new machine smell. Do you smell that? Yeah, that's the new machine smell. We have some additional equipment that are coming in. I tried to make sure we live within a budget.
During the kickoff to the program, students were able to hear from and engage with industry leaders.
One of the biggest impacts the students were saying it was the head company with the bicycle. They could identify with that. You know, they know the value of the medical industry, but it's hard for them to identify that piece. And so the head bicycle wheels and bike, that was a cool component because it was something very tangible.
I like to find people that have a passion for cycling, and when I get to meet them in person and I can see the passion, it really makes me feel important that I can maybe work with them someday. So I gave them a business card. I wanted to come visit me, and who knows what will happen.
You like bicycles? Go see Head. Excitement is huge for me on the aspect of bringing industry people in during the school day, letting them know that these doors are open and we need their help, and they're reaching right back and say, yeah, we're here to help. Did you shake somebody's hand today out there? I didn't go. Oh!
One goal of the program is to expose more girls to the manufacturing industry and help build diversity.
We want to promote that this is good for all. I even tease my class a little bit. I tell my ladies that are in class, I said, you have such an advantage if you go down this road. When you're in the minority of that program, people want to have you as part of that career. And so part of our goal here is to increase that, and so that we get a greater cross-section of what students that would represent White Bear Lake High School.
We wanted to make sure that we gave some exposure to our female students, because there's such a desire and demand for females to enter into the field of manufacturing, and so we were interested in just attracting them to come and learn more about it.
I am really interested in the mechanical engineering field, and I'm taking biotech this year, and I just wanted to learn a little bit more about what sort of jobs are out there, what options, or what other fields there are besides just mechanical engineering and going to study for.
I'm interested kind of more so in car engineering and stuff, how to put together engines and all that kind of stuff. So it was cool to hear other options as well.
Well, coming into this, I really didn't have manufacturing as a job career in mind, but coming here, meeting people, being around the environment really opened up to me that manufacturing isn't just a job.
The program also provides local companies with a solid, knowledgeable workforce.
It's really awesome to find young talent right here in our backyard. Believe it or not, most of my employees are homegrown Minnesota people, so I just like to keep it going.
I mean, it's exciting to see people's eyes light up to when different people that you talk to in different aspects of the issue of workforce, like whether it's talking to employers or the schools or even sometimes to students, and then seeing everyone converge together all at once and kind of have these aha moments together is wonderful.
Yeah, it really does allow you to see what the new manufacturing is, because a lot of people still think it's just like the old welding, dirty jobs, and this shows you the new technologies that we have and the machines and how easy it can be.
And to provide students with more career path options for the future.
We want students to have the advantage going post-secondary. You know, that's my goal, is we do a good job of creating advantage programs in math, science, communications. We now have an area where it's a career base, and we want to create that advantage for students as they go post-secondary.
And getting the parents involved along with the students may have a small idea of what they want to do, but unless mom and dad are back there supporting it, they might not get as much traction as they'd like.
You know, I would say that these are the things that are going to propel our local economy in ways that other areas are not going to be able to match. You know, we're having these partnerships and collaborations that normally, are very challenging for people to bridge, but we at the VHEDC are working really hard to kind of be that glue to sort of bring all the key stakeholders together.
Manufacturing is cool. Just like Danny said, we've said it for years. I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't fun and interesting and cool.
I was talking with the students and I said I really wish we could have had like a full school assembly to get the student who is really interested in math to understand, hey, I have a place and manufacturing needs you. You know, if I'm really interested in science, manufacturing needs you. And I think that's the value that I want to be able to tell kids through this program is, yeah, there's a need out there and you can do this, and it's a well-paying job. It's success is really what it is. And that's really hard for schools to identify what is success. And I tell my students success is individual. Does this create happiness? Is this what you want to do? Is it sustainable? Does it create a livelihood or a standard of living that works for you? And so little by little, we make bits and pieces, it all comes together.
And finally, speaking of success and events, I'm happy to share that our Local Image show and various segments from it won recognition from 2 national awards competitions that occurred in the last couple of months. From honorable mention to first place, Local Image racked up 7 awards, and that's not bad considering one of those competitions had over 800 entries. I want to thank the staff of On Location TV and Government Television Network for being an incredible team of production professionals, including the guy behind the camera, the very talented Jeffrey Wilson, who has put up with me, and that ain't easy. So until next month, happy Halloween from all of us, and as always, I do thank you for watching Local Image.